Good morning and welcome to episode 15 of the Knit-Nix podcast. I'm Carla, the host, and you can find me on Instagram as Carla Jean and on Ravelry as Knit-Nix. That's KNIT-NIX. Today is September the 13th, and I think it's been about 3 weeks since my last podcast, and today's episode is episode 15. So welcome. Lots has happened, and the reason it's been 3 weeks is because school is back, and I am really kind of like, I've hit the ground running. In my role, there's been lots of new students in our school and lots of kids with diverse learning needs. And those kind of seem to come to light in September. So my role as the diverse learning teacher is to make sure that these kids settle in properly, that they get the resources that they need, that they get the services that they need. So yes, it's Tuesday, so I'm only half-time, so this is one of my days off. And since the beginning of school, I think I've only had 2 full days off. And it's a half-time job. Anyway, so yeah, I'm busy, so I just thought I'd squeeze in a little episode here while I had some time. And because there's lots new coming up, and I have some giveaways, and yeah, lots of really cool things to share. So this weekend, on Sunday, September the 19th, I believe, in Calgary, there's going to be it's called Natasha's Bike Ride. And for those of you who are new, welcome. And for those of you tuning in again, you know that Natasha is was the daughter of one of our very dear friends. And on May 2nd of 2015, she was diagnosed with an inoperable brain tumor. The condition is called DIPG, and it's got a name like really long. It's diffuse intrinsic, I don't know, it's this really long name, but it stands for a very, very nasty, aggressive kind of cancer, childhood cancer. And Natasha was diagnosed on the May 2nd. And she, during her short time after her diagnosis, she was a huge advocate for childhood cancer, and she went to CureFest, and she got involved with an organization. They came to speak at the funeral, but since her diagnosis, she was a huge advocate. They did interviews with her. She spoke in Washington, D.C. She's just a spunky little monkey, and anyway, she passed away 15 months and 2 days from the day of her diagnosis. So she passed away on August 4th of this summer of 2016, and she was only 12 years old. So as part of her legacy and as part of a fundraiser, they're doing a bike ride here in Calgary on the Sunday. So we're going to be definitely doing that. And if you are watching this and you're in the Calgary area, I will put the little poster up and the information on where it is, but it's going to be in North Glenmore Park. I think it's going to be around the reservoir. I'm not exactly sure of the details, but I will give you the link on how you can find information. And it's not going to be a strenuous ride, I don't believe. And if you don't have a bike or you want to just be involved and walk, you can do that too. So I will put the information and the links to that. So that's coming up on the Sunday. And as part of that, and as part of my healing, I'm doing a giveaway as well for Natasha, in memory of Natasha, and more information about that a little bit later in my episode here. So since my last episode, I think on my last episode, I socially met up with a lovely lady in Germany. Her name is Lisa, and I fell in love with one of her patterns. And on my last episode, I believe I shared with you the colors that I was thinking of using for that shawl, because it's a 3-color shawl. And since that time, I've come home and I've kind of been playing with a bunch of colors. So that's going to be part of my acquisitions. I've got some more colors there. And I want to talk about my subscriber giveaway that's coming up a little later in the show. But let's move right into some knitting. I think in the summertime, I finished, well, I know I finished these in the summertime, but I don't remember talking about them in my finished objects or what's off the sticks. So the socks that I'm talking about are these ones. And these are an opal sock yarn. And they are a lovely fall color. They're oranges and purples and grays. And this opal sock yarn is a 6-ply fingering, and it's really awesome to work with. If you've never worked with opal yarn, you would love it because it just the quality of the stitches and how it holds together. It's just a really, though it is a little bit scratchy, and that goes away after a few washings, it really, really does lend itself to some gorgeous, gorgeous finished product. Now these socks are knit, they're just a vanilla sock pattern that I knit top down. So I just did about 1.5 inches of ribbing, 2x2 ribbing, went into the actual body of the sock. And I do the heel, turn, and gusset, heel, turn, and gusset, heel, flap, sorry, I'm not thinking today. Heel flap, heel turn, and gusset, and then I do a quick decrease toe, and I do a Kitchener to finish it off. So they're real basic, and so I didn't mention those, and they have been finished a while, so I thought I would bring those up. So yes, I have one finished object. Oh, and today I'm drinking homemade iced coffee in a beer mug. Okay, so the other finished object that I have that I was super duper excited about is my own pattern. And I mentioned these in my couple of my last podcasts. They are made on Koigu yarn. And the project was something I thought when I started knitting it, I was going to do, it's called the trellis stitch. And I was going to do the whole sock and trellis stitch, but I was reading online and people commented that the trellis stitch doesn't have a lot of give. So I thought, oh, I'll just do the top and trellis stitch. And then as I was looking at it, I thought, oh my gosh, this looks like mermaid scales. So I created this pattern, and this is the trellis stitch up here. This is a 1x1 ribbing. So these are a top-down sock. Went into the trellis stitch, and sometimes it's called the lattice stitch. Then I stopped and just did some plain stockinette. And then I went into the front, which is kind of a lace pattern. And I'm going to pull this off the sock blocker. But as you can see here, I'm going to show it up close. This pattern sort of, especially right here, you can see why I would call it a mermaid sock. And I was planning on writing it up, but now that school has started, I might have to put that on the back burner because I think I would have to do some test knitters, etc. But this pattern, and I'm finished both of them, I've named If Mermaids Wore Socks. So yeah, I really like it. It's a shorty kind of a summer sock that you could wear in the summer. And it's the Koigu, and I'm not sure, I don't think they name their colors anything fancy. I think it's just a turquoise. And so yeah, they're on my Loopy U sock blockers. And here they are, the two of them together. So yes, really pleased with those. And I'm not sure whether I'm going to keep them or gift them at Christmas. I'm not really sure, but yeah. I'm really excited. This Christmas, we go away up to Palm Springs every Christmas. And most days, or most years, we travel on Christmas Day in the evening. But I really wanted to do a big traditional turkey dinner and everything. It's kind of my turn. So instead this year we're leaving on Boxing Day. So we'll be home and hopefully I'll have my kids around and Tim's kids around and we'll have a big dinner and some family time. So I'm pretty excited about Christmas. So yeah, so that's it for finished objects. Just those two pairs of socks. And now we can move on to what's on the sticks. And recently on Instagram, I posted a picture that showed that I have 8 projects on the go, and I've kind of always claimed to be, and I've always bragged to Carmen, my friend, that, oh, how do you have so many things on the needles? I usually just have one thing on the needles, and then I you know, finish it and then move on to the next. Well, I've drank the Kool-Aid. I think I counted 8 projects, and so let me talk about what so I finished one, those mermaid socks. The other socks were done a long time ago. They don't even count. So the mermaid socks made it go down to 7. And then I have a pair of socks that I've mentioned in another podcast that I keep in a yarn bowl that's more of a decoration, and I knit a row or 2 on occasion. So I'm not even really going to count those, but that is another pair of socks that I have. So that would bring it to 6. And then let's talk about what else I have. I have these. Now, Prairie Dye Studios does a beautiful sock yarn. This one's called Overcast. And I cast these on probably in the springtime, maybe early summer. And I finished one, and I've started the second one. But isn't that beautiful? Look at that. Oh my gosh. She does beautiful, beautiful yarn. And I don't have second sock syndrome because I immediately cast on the second one, and I'm just trying to find it. Yeah, all I have done on it though is the ribbing. So where is it? It's around here. Oh, here it is. It is. So yes, here's the yarn. It's kind of been sitting in my project bag, but so I don't have second sock syndrome, but it's kind of been maybe hibernating a little bit. So that brings me down. That's 5. Okay, so that's on the go. And then let's go to 4. What's my 4th one? Let's see here. Oh, I have these socks that I mentioned on my last podcast. Yeah, these are awesome. I love these. This is what I used. I did this with the leftover koi goo that I did my If Mermaids Wore Socks. So yeah, so I've done a little bit more on that. I'm moving along. I've got that. These are Susan B. Anderson smooth operator socks. And I've already put the waste yarn in for the, oh no, I'm looking at these going, no, that's not right. Wrong. These are just vanilla socks, and I'm contemplating doing the smooth operator. I'm not sure whether I'm going to put her afterthought heel in or whether I'm going to do a heel flat, heel turn and gusset. So I'm not real sure. So we'll see how I've got another pair, which I'm going to mention here in just a moment. I've got another pair on the sticks too. Oh, and that yarn, in case you didn't know it, I got on my vacation this summer, and it's this one. If you've ever seen that one, it's kind of lovely. But anyway, I love the colors, and I bought it specifically because I have enough to do the heels, toes, and tops in that turquoise. So I bought this because I thought it would go really well, and it does. So that's another thing. So that's 5. Now, where's number 4? Let's see. Where's number 4? I'm missing one, I think. Maybe it's in here. The other ones that I was talking about that I have on the go. So this would be number 4, I think. I'll go with that. These are the Susan B. Anderson smooth operator socks, and I put if you can see here, they're a top-down sock, and I was supposed to put a different contrasting color, a waist yarn right in here, but sadly I chose blue, which is exactly the same color as the sock, so that might be a little challenging, but I'm going to, when I get up to about here, I'm going to put that afterthought heel in, and if this goes well, then I'm going to do it on that other pair of socks that I showed you, that I just showed you. Now, these socks I'm hoping to wear, I have a lot of red in my wardrobe, and I got them, made them a little longer for more of a winter sock. But this is that awesome, awesome opal sock yarn right here. And I'm using that. And I am also talking about, I'm also planning on giving some opal sock yarn in my giveaway. So more about that in a bit. So that is, I don't know, 4, I think. 3rd project on the sticks. Yes, I know. is a shawl, a crescent shawl that I shared a while ago, and I will put a picture in right here. And this shawl that I put the picture in that you just saw is one that was my own creation, but I was just struggling with it and I wasn't really liking how it was knitting up, so I just kind of frogged that one back. So number 3 is my own creation, my crescent shawl that I frogged. So that's off the sticks. And I have 2 left. I have cast on the sweater that I was hoping to take to Knit City. And I talked about on my last episode hoping that I would do that because I've knit kids sweaters, but I've never, other than one in high school, I've never really of late taken on a real like an adult sweater. So I cast on Carrie Bostic Hogue's Alila sweater, and it was kind of difficult starting because the bottom goes up in the front and then it swoops down in the back. So I had to do something called short rows, and I'd never done them before. So I went to my knitting guild, and one of the members there very patiently sat with me and walked me through the German short row. Well, actually the pattern doesn't call for German short rows, but I was kind of listening to the advice of the ladies there. And I showed them, they were called, can't remember. Anyway, the pattern has a different kind of a short row, but the ladies there at my guild said, you know what, Carla, you need to just do German short rows because there won't be any spaces and such. So I switched out it was an interesting name. Anyway, I'll put the name of the other kind of short rows that this pattern calls for, and I substituted German short rows. Anyway, here's the sweater that I'm making. I'm making it with the Knit-Nix yarn that I bought. I bought enough for a sweater when they had their big sale this summer. And the colorway is copper, and it is the swish. Here's kind of a very used up ball of it. But yes, it's the Knit-Nix swish. Colorway is copper. And I bought enough for a sweater. And I thought, I wasn't sure I was gonna like it, but as I'm knitting on it, I'm quite liking it. And so the front's about maybe 6 inches long, and the back is over 7 inches long now. So there's the back, and it's got a garter bottom, like the bottom is a garter, and then it goes to stockinette. And I don't have any holes. I thought I might have some holes where the German short rows are, but I haven't seen any. So you can kind of tell where they are. But not bad. I think I did a pretty darn good job of making it so that you can't see them very well. So that's good. You want them to be invisible. And so I started that. Now, Knit City is in just a couple weeks, and I'm only here. So there's it's highly likely that I won't finish, but at least I had a goal and I got started. So I know I'll finish this because I'm really loving how it knits up. It's very soft, and I'm loving the pattern. It's really well written. And I'm also loving the color because there you go. So yeah, that's my sweater, and that is the Lila. I think it was called, well, it's the Lila that's in worsted weight, because I think she also does a Lila in fingering. But this is the one that's created out of worsted. So I'm very happy with that. So that's project 2. And my final project that I have on the sticks is now the Drachenfels. And guess what? I'm not done, but oh, I've made great progress on it. I'm knitting it on the Lana Loft in the colorways purple, bone, and brown. And I will show you. I have a little progress keeper, and I'll show you what I've done since I last hibernated it. I hibernated it over the summer because it was just too big, too bulky, and too heavy for summer knitting. But now that it's fall, I've rediscovered it. And Lisa, as soon as I finish knitting this, guess what I'm going to put on my sticks? I'm going to put on your lovely, I think it's called Foggy Beach shawl, and I'm helping her put it. She's German. Her first language is German. She does communicate very well in English, but I'm going to help her rewrite it in English. And I've done it, but I'm not exactly sure if I'm understanding the pattern. So what I'm going to do is when I put it into English, I'm going to knit it as I write it into English. So but getting back to what I was talking about, this is the Drachenfell shawl, and it's by Melanie Berg, and I love this shawl for a very long time. So it's very, very, very big. It starts out as right here, and I worked my first colors, which are the browny gray, and then it calls for this kind of a pattern, 3 bigger pattern stripes. And then you move into the stripe pattern, and then you add one little row of your, not a row actually, it's a rib of your first color, and you keep going, and then that went right into all of the purple striping, and now I'm on to the solid, and I think I've got about this much more, and then I think I have one more of these rows to do, and then a kind of a fancy little bind off that requires a different size needle. So I'm getting close. I'm not sure I'll have it done for next time, but look how much progress I did in the last, just say, week or so. There's my progress keeper right there, and I did all of that, so that's really cool. Let's see, what else is new with my knitting? I go to Guild. I belong to the Gilly Hooks Guild here in Calgary, and we did knitting in the park, which is fun. And if you are a knitter in Calgary or Calgary area, I really recommend that you think about joining us. I guess the Guild has been around for 25 years because we just celebrated our silver anniversary, and the membership has gone down to like, I think at one point there was close to maybe 100, and then it went down quite low, and as of the last count at our last meeting, there was 103 members of the Guild. So yes, if you are in the area and would like to become a member, contact me, and I will invite you to you can come as a guest for 2 before you have to sign up. So I have a few people here in Calgary who have expressed interest. So if you're interested in joining, please contact me, and I will tell you all about where we meet, etc. And you can come as a guest, because it's a lovely way to connect to knitters in the city of Calgary. So yes, that is my Drachenfells. Yay! So that is my last and final of my 8 projects. And I think so with frogging this shawl, and with completing the If Mermaids Were Socks, I think I'm down to 6 projects on the sticks now. So that's getting a little bit more manageable. I'd like to have the socks that I've got going finished. Ideally, I'd like to have a pair of socks on the sticks. I'd like to have a shawl and possibly a sweater or something of like a knitwear kind of a project as well, maybe. And in winter, I like to sometimes have a hat or mittens on the sticks as well. So yeah, there's my projects. So let's move on to acquisitions. So there's a lovely lady in Calgary, and her name is Kim Nelson. And she has an Etsy shop. She goes by Ginger Snap That on her Etsy shop, and that's her name on Ravelry as well, I believe. I know it's her name on Instagram, but I will put her contact information along the bottom so that you know how to be in touch with her. So I met with her at one of my local yarn shops at the Loop, and I bought from her this bag. So yeah, beautiful, beautiful bag. And I'm going to read a little bit about her. I'm going to put my glasses on here, and I'm going to read to you a little biography about Kim. All right, so I have glasses on. It's really hard when you're in your 50s and you're not used to wearing glasses ever. And then you lose, and look at how the glare in my glasses there. How's that? And your eyes start to fade along with other things. Let's not talk. I'll tell you about that after. But it's really hard to put glasses on and feel like yourself, because I don't feel like myself in these. Anyway, so I'm going to read you about this, and we'll talk about this. But before I read this to you, I want to talk about aging. Yesterday, I came home from school, and I was changing out of my school clothes and putting on like comfy sweats. And the light was coming in my window just so. And I looked down at my legs and I'm thinking, oh my gosh, what is this? And it was all this like ripply, yucky, like I'm losing all my tone, my muscle tone in my legs. So I got like I was weepy because I was looking down going like, I'm turning into an ugly old woman. So I went into the kitchen and I'm kind of in a funk and I'm cooking and I'm thinking I'm making dinner. I'm thinking I'm making gravy and I shouldn't have gravy because gravy is just fat. Anyway, my daughter came home from work. My daughter's living with us currently right now. And Emma comes in the door and she can see I'm not real happy. And then I said to her, told her about my legs, the reflection I saw of my legs in the mirror as the light was hitting them. And she goes, I'm going to take you to the gym, Mom. So anyway, so let's make dinner together. So we were making dinner and then of course got talking to her and kind of ignoring things. And I burnt the potatoes and then the beans got overcooked. Anyway, I was talking to then my husband came home and I was talking to everybody and they could all see that I'm trying to fight back the tears. So my daughter Emma took me to her gym. That she works at a gym, but she took me to another branch of her gym. And we did some leg and butt exercises. And today I'm a little sore and she tells me that tomorrow I'll be even sore. So anyway, this getting old stuff is not for sissies. This is a really hard thing to do, is getting old. The wrinkles, I'm not used to that either. Look at this face. Anyway, and the glasses, yeah, and the red hair that has a little more, another color in there that I'm actually trying to match what my hair was like with a little help from a bottle. And I'm not talking a wine bottle. Although I do a lot of that too. Anyway, back to this. Let's focus, Carla, back to what I came to put the glasses on for and to get. Kim Nelson, Ginger Snap That. She's a lovely, lovely lady. She made, I saw her stuff, and since it's fall and I love fall in it, I ordered this and she sent me a this bag to go with it. She'd run out of the fabric, so she gave me this, a little, the little doll. Isn't that cute? As a little notions pouch. And then she gave me these. And then she gave me a bunch, with that, she gave me a whole bunch of stuff to give away. But before I move on to all that, let's talk about who Kim is. Kim lives in Calgary. She's a married mother of 3 adult kids. She's a nana to Jude, and she calls him Juju Bean. I've seen that a lot. She posts a lot of pictures of her grandson on on Instagram. I met her in person at the Loop, and she's lovely. She works with her husband. She calls herself the branch manager for her husband Colin's business. He's a certified arborist, and he's been an arborist for 27 years. So anyway, she calls herself the branch manager, which I thought was kind of cute. I think she probably helps them with some of the labor-intensive jobs. She says that they love to snowboard, they love RVing, and I've seen her post things. She doesn't camp, she's glamping. She doesn't just camp. She's an RVer. She loves lacrosse and hockey, and like me, she put in caps, I love Christmas. Who doesn't love Christmas and all the things that go with it? And she's been selling her knitwear and her knitted related items for many, many years, but she just started an Etsy store this summer. So if you want to find her Etsy shop, she is Ginger Snap That on the Etsy shop. And I will put, again, her information up so you can contact her and find her stuff. She does beautiful, beautiful stuff. Now, so on to what she gave me. So for what I bought, she put this in a package for me. But I thought I'm going to start doing some giveaways. So she also provided another bag, a Halloween bag. Isn't it cute? Look at this. And look at the workmanship. Look at the little witchy witch pull on it. And it comes with a coordinating little notions pouch. So that's a set. And for a giveaway that I'm doing, I'm going to add this to it. And this is my very, very first giveaway, so I'm uber excited. And I'm gonna put this ball of sock yarn in it. So how do you enter it? You have to go onto Instagram and you have to follow me. You have to stalk me. You have to follow me and you have to tag 2 friends with the ampersand sign, you know, just tag 2 friends, and that'll put you on my, that'll put you into an entry for 1 chance to win. And then if you want a second chance to win, you use the hashtag Knit-Nix podcast and repost it onto Instagram, and that'll be a second way to win this. So that is my Instagram. It's called the Spooktacular Spooktacular Subscribers Giveaway is what I've named it. So go find it, look me up, find me on Instagram, find this page that has this picture on it, and follow the directions, and you too can win. And I'm gonna draw for that in 1 week. So enter, please do. I would love, I don't care if you're international, I don't care whether you're Europe or United States, enter. I will, if you win, I will definitely send it out to you. And another draw that I am doing, and it's going to be a subscriber, if you're watching the podcast on YouTube, if you subscribe to me, to my podcast, if you like, give me a thumbs up of this episode, and if you make a comment, I'm doing a Natasha giveaway, and that is in memory of my friend's daughter. It's the Natasha giveaway. So it's going to be, let me take a look at what the Natasha giveaway is. It is going to be a ball of opal sock yarn in blue, because Natasha's favorite color was blue. And if you look on Instagram, I had a picture of me in my blue toes when I went to her celebration of life service. And a beautiful, and look at this, Kim made these in special for her. I met with her just right after Natasha passed away. And so she thought an set of angel stitch markers. I think there is a progress keeper there, and one really fancy schmancy stitch marker, and some other little white ones as part of this. So this is a giveaway that I'm doing YouTube. Again, all you need to do is subscribe to my YouTube channel, give me a thumbs up on this episode, and make a comment down below, comment on this broadcast or this episode, and you have a chance to win that. So that's the second. And then she gave me other stuff as well, and that'll be in a future giveaway. This ball of opal sock yarn. This, she gave this with mine, but I thought, you know what? I think that she gave me so much, I want to share with my viewers. And she made these beautiful, look at those little stitch markers in that cute little bottle with cork in it. So yes, this is going to be a future giveaway. I haven't decided how or what yet. Maybe it's part of a knit-along or something, but anyway. So yes, this is going to be an upcoming one. And this is another opal sock yarn. This is a 150-gram ball. And I think this is just a little bit heavier. It's not quite a DK, but it's not maybe it's a heavy fingering. It's not a light fingering. Anyway, so that's a beautiful one. And I thought this would be a lovely giveaway down the road, but I'm not sure what it is yet, but that's coming up. So yes, 2 giveaways on right now. Again, the one for Halloween, that's on Instagram. So do as you're told on there. Go follow me and look at the rules there. Right, it's posted right on Instagram. And then my YouTube one in memory of lovely little Natasha. Opal sock yarn and these stitch markers for Miss Natasha. So yeah, so that's what's new at the zoo in acquisitions, or the fix. And I also mentioned last week that I went on when I was away in the summer, I got this yarn and this yarn and this yarn, two gray. This will be the main color, and the green and the purple to do Lisa's shawl. But I'm kind of changing my mind. So I went back to my local yarn shop when I met Kim there. I bought these 2. So I want some opinions if you have an opinion. I'm thinking of doing this and this and these two. Or I was thinking of doing this and these two. Or I don't know. But here's all the colors I have. I'll put them up here. And help me pick 3 colors. I would like to use the gray as the base if possible, because that would, you know, but what other 2 colors should I add? And yes, I bought these at my local yarn shop, as well as they carried it, as well as when I was away. And the kind of yarn that this is Cascade Yarn Sport. And the, just looking here, I thought she told me it was worsted. It's a merino silk, Cascade yarns. This is the colorway. I think you call it Venezia, and it's a sport weight. And it is in merino silk, and boy, is it's lovely. So I'm literally looking forward to knitting that. Sorry, Lisa, it's taken me so long, but when you had 8 items on your sticks, you need to kind of clear away some needles before you start too much. Otherwise, you'll have a whole bunch of half-finished objects. So I needed to finish that. So hopefully when I get the Drachenfels finished, that's up next, and get some of those socks off the needles too. So yeah, so what you might be able to do is, and I mentioned this, but it got cut off, to enter that draw for the Natasha giveaway here on YouTube, why don't you take a look at these colors, I'm dropping them everywhere, and tell me which colors you would put together. Which 3 color combination. Again, I wanted to have the gray in there. So what other 2 colors would you add to the shawl? And that could be your comment, or you could just make your own comment. You could tell me how wonderful I am. Sorry. I am, as I'm filming here, I'm noticing action. It comes across as notifications across my phone, because I record on my phone. And I'm noticing that so many people are entering the first, this one, the Halloween one on Instagram. It's just going crazy. So get over there and start following me on Instagram and tag 2 friends, and then hashtag Knit-Nix podcast and repost it. Repost the picture and with a hashtag Knit-Nix podcast, and that's a double entry. And then also don't forget on YouTube here to enter the Natasha giveaway. Ooh, I'm going to take these off now. Kind of glaring at you. I'm sorry. It's been so long since I podcast, and I apologize profusely that it's taken so long, but please bear with me. I'm going to continue to podcast. I'm going to go to Knit City. Hopefully I'll get one up before Knit City. If not, I'll give you one right after Knit City. I'm really looking forward to that, and hopefully if you see me, come up and say hi to me and say, hi, Knit-Nix. Hi, Carla. I follow you, or I watch your podcast. That would be so awesome. So anyway, it's time for me to end this podcast. I think I've covered all my goodies, all my acquisitions, all my fix, all my on the sticks, off the sticks, and I think that is all. And have yourself a really great day, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.